Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is September 27th. We got some more football to talk about. Another week has come and gone. Quarter way through the NFL season after this week. I know that's crazy to say, but I don't know. I'm excited for another week. We get some other posturing matchups, because right now I'm not really confident in a lot of the top end teams in the league. I feel like I'm confident in the Bills, I'm confident in Kansas City. Other than that, everyone's looked fairly okay to start. I'd say, yeah, it goes probably 20 teams deep in the league that might have a shot at the playoffs right now. I don't know. This is the most parity I think that there's been in the league for quite some bit, and I absolutely love it because good football across the league is good for the NFL, good for its brand. But yeah, this episode going over the week 4 slate, gonna do the the blind Thursday night football matchup. And yeah, so usually I do the NFL weekly update, but not a lot's really happening. I guess the only thing I can really update on is people are mad at PFF, and people are always mad at PFF, but they didn't credit Lane Johnson for allowing a sack in that week 1 matchup against the Packers. Rashawn Gary still got the sack, obviously, but they didn't put the blame on Lane Johnson, even though he is the one who allowed the sack. Circumstances, Cam Jurgens snapped the ball early. The Eagles' offensive line was still kind of calling out protections, and Lane Johnson wasn't ready. So although, yeah, Rashawn Gary got the sack on Lane Johnson, it wasn't Lane Johnson's fault, so he shouldn't be credited for allowing the sack. And people are losing their minds. That's literally all PFF's job is, to look at stats and kind of assign the nuances behind them. I didn't think that this was news for people, but people are really, really mad, and it's very, very funny. I'm not a fan of PFF, but I don't know. That's kind of the only thing that I really picked out over the last week. But what I will do instead of the NFL weekly update is what I did last week, because injuries happen every single week, and we got to talk about all of them. So this is for, I don't know, fantasy purposes, betting purposes, knowing which guys are in and out each week. Makes you more thoughtful when you need to put those players in their lineup or place a bet on whatever player or spread or, yeah. So let's start off. Alex Singleton, ACL. I will add, he tore it in the first quarter, still played every snap. That's absolutely insane, but Broncos are going to be missing their starting linebacker for the rest of the season. Javon Hargrave also out for the year with, I think he has a pec injury. Might have been a tricep injury, but he's out for the year. That's a big loss for the Niners. Adam Thielen has a hamstring injury. He got placed on IR, out for the foreseeable future. Frank Ragnow is week to week with a pec injury. That's big for the Lions. Also losing Marcus Davenport for the year. Aiden Hutchinson, he does it all anyways, but Troy Fautanu, the Steelers rookie out of Washington, he is out for the season with a dislocated kneecap. That sucks. He was playing really good ball. Trent Brown out with a knee injury. Bengals offensive line continues to just kind of fall apart. Justin Jones, the Cardinals defensive tackle, out for the year with a tricep injury. Wyatt Teller, the very good Browns guard, out for a while with a knee injury. Britton Covey, the Eagles wide receiver 3, out with a broken collarbone. Awful. Derek Barnes, the Lions linebacker, he is out with a knee injury. Austin Eckler has a concussion. Alex Highsmith has a groin injury, out for a couple weeks. Eric McCoy, the Saints center, out 6 to 8 weeks with a groin injury. That's tough for the Saints. Myles Garrett is playing extremely banged up, multiple injuries across the board, but he's going to continue to play through it apparently. Good for Myles Garrett, I guess. I don't know. And then, yeah, the Chargers. Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and maybe Joey Bosa are going to be missing games. Definitely, probably all three are missing this one in a big matchup against the Chiefs. But those are the injury updates. I'm sure I missed a few guys too, but those are kind of the bulk of the big injuries. Yeah, some guys are coming back. I said some guys last week too, so it's on you to pay attention to who I'm listing out that gets hurt. And yeah, we will keep going here. Blind Thursday night football recap. Cowboys at Giants, the matchup that the NFL puts on primetime no matter how bad both teams are. And the Giants surprisingly came away with a win in this one. Was it surprising to me? No. But the Cowboys continue to not stop the run, and Motor, Devin Singletary, big game in this one, got 2Ds, rushed the ball very, very well behind this pretty good Giants offensive line. I know, it's weird to say, but the Cowboys just have no one in the middle to plug up those running lanes. It's unfortunate. And then, yeah, the Cowboys on offense just continue to look one-dimensional, can't get anything in the run game going. Dalvin Cook made his kind of NFL debut for this year. I don't actually know if he's played any meaningful snaps yet for the Cowboys this season, but he got out there, looked like Dalvin Cook in 2024. Not surprising. Dexter Lawrence was able to block up any runs they did try to get. CeeDee Lamb continues to do CeeDee Lamb things. He is the lone bright spot on this team. But yeah, at the end of the day, Giants 24, Cowboys 17. Mike McCarthy firmly on the hot seat now. That's the Blind Thursday Night Football recap. I think I crushed that one. Let's get into the Week 4 preview here. I think I kept calling it the recap. The Week 4 preview. Yeah, let's get into it. My number 14th ranked Steelers going against the number 22 ranked Colts. Pittsburgh -2, total set at 40.5. Pittsburgh's whole thing this year is beating up on bad teams, playing great defense, and scoring very few points in doing so. But it has worked. They're 3-0, and they're playing a Colts team that hasn't looked very good outside of that first game against the Texans. But that's just because of Anthony Richardson. And every week with Anthony Richardson, it's just like if he puts it together, and we've seen him put it together, it's just he's been extremely volatile so far to start this year. But if he puts it together, the Colts should be able to win this one. I do think the Colts defense, although the run defense hasn't been good, I don't think that Najee Harris is very good. Jalen Warren has just not been being used. Thank you, Arthur Smith. But I don't know. Not a lot of faith in the Steelers' offense in general. Doesn't matter which defense they do face. And that offensive line is also a little bit banged up now. It really just depends on which version of Anthony Richardson we do get. He's been Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde this season. That's a big reference for me. Look at me go. I don't know. I like the Colts in this one. Colts at home. I think that Anthony Richardson is just due for like a good game, because the last two games he's played has been flat out bad. So I think he's due for a good game. They'll run the ball well. Alex Highsmith is a big injury for this Steelers defense. So maybe it takes a little bit of a step back. Probably not, but I'm interested to see how the Colts run the ball. But at the end of, the Steelers, the only way that they win this game is if they play the same way they've done the first 2 weeks. Great defense and offense that limits its mistakes. I guess we will see. I do like the Colts in this one. Don't know if I'll bet it. I might do an underdog parlay. We will see. Keep going here. My number 3 ranked Vikings going against my number 8th ranked Packers. Packers -2.5. Total set of 43.5. Bit of a trap line. I don't know. The Packers have been teasing that Jordan Love could start for the last 2 weeks. And each week he hasn't. I don't think he's going to play again. With how they spoke about the severity of the injury. I think that the Packers are just kind of bullshitting every week to be like, oh, is Love playing? Is Willis playing? I don't really know. And I think they're kind of doing it again. If Malik Willis does play, I love the Vikings in this one. Brian Flores is the best defensive coordinator, the best defensive play caller in the league. Yeah, I think I stand by that. And going against a quarterback like Malik Willis, who has looked good, it limits what Matt LaFleur, and Matt LaFleur has been in his bag these last couple weeks calling the offense, but Brian Flores can go toe-to-toe with him in terms of play calling, and if LaFleur has Willis instead of Love under center, I think that will be a big difference maker. I'm interested to see if Sam Darnold and these Vikings can continue to do what they've been doing to every team so far. Yeah, and I guess Aaron Jones going back home to where he was drafted. Aaron Jones' revenge game. I don't really know. I guess we will find out, but yeah, I like the Vikings in this one. But this is now the third week in a row I've doubted the Packers with Malik Willis at quarterback, and 2 weeks in a row it is bitten me on the ass, and probably will again, but I like the Vikings regardless. Next game up here, my number 4 ranked Texans going against the last team, the number 32 ranked Jags. Texans -6, total set at 45.5. Yeah. I obviously think the Texans are going to win this. The Texans are the better team. They're better coach. They're literally just better across every single level of the game. However, the Jags have the pieces, and they have pieces that I like. They just don't play well, and they're not coached well, and yada, yada, yada. But can the Jags maybe put together a good game, great game, and play this one close with the Texans? Maybe, probably. But honestly, probably not, because we have shown that the Jags have been a very bad football team and a underperforming football team for quite some time now, and the Texans got embarrassed. And I think that CJ Stroud doesn't take losses well, especially that was probably the worst game of his young career, and I expect the Texans to put an absolute whooping on the Jags. I think that their pass rush will get home against this bad Jags offensive line. I think Tyson Campbell is still out for the Jags, so I'm probably on Nico Collins overs because the Jags, even though their best corner is out, they still play the most man defense out of any team in the league right now. Maybe they should adjust that. I don't know, but yeah, if Nico Collins is getting matched up on Ronald Darby, I take Nico Collins every single day of the week. Maybe I should look up if Tyson Campbell is actually out quickly, because that does make a big difference at least it makes a big difference with Nico Collins, regardless if Tyson Campbell is playing. The Texans are going to win this one. Let's see if there is an update. I can't find anything. Let's put Tyson Campbell injury now. Tyson Campbell injury. Nope, that's Dan Campbell. Why? I don't know why this isn't popping up. Like, that should be something fairly easy to pop up, and I probably shouldn't be wasting this much time trying to find it, but here we are. I continue to... Oh, he was placed on injured reserve. I'm an idiot. So yeah, he is out. Nico Collins overs. I'm sorry that took way longer than it should have, but we will continue on. Obviously, I like the Texans, and I like Nico Collins' yards in this one, whatever it may be. Keep moving on. Number 11th ranked Saints versus the number 16th ranked Falcons. Falcons -2.5, total set at 42.5. This is a very good test, a very meaningful matchup for both of these teams early in the season. It is a divisional matchup, and this division over the last few years has been a dogfight in the sense where if you get to above 500, there's a good chance you can win the division, and it's trending towards a little bit better than that this year, but still not great. And let's see, after a down week from the Saints, if they can bounce back. The Falcons have been playing some good football, not great football, but they're a fun team. Both of these teams are fun, and that's something, at least for one of them, the Saints, I didn't think that they would be at the start of the year. So that is big. No Eric McCoy for the Saints for the foreseeable future. That sucks. I think that Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, like they're also banged up going into this one. Alvin Kamara is banged up going into this one. He might not play, which is big. So I don't really know where I'm going with this one. I lean the Saints to win this one just because they have been the better team this season, marginally anyways. But I think I need to see kind of final health statuses for the Saints. Like if Kamara's out and they're going with Jamal Williams running the ball, that's been their big thing, is running the ball. I don't think that they'll be able to do it, and it's a very strong secondary that the Saints are going against, which if they can't run the ball, the Falcons secondary will have a good game. I think I've just talked myself into picking the Falcons. I might need to switch that pick for my confidence pool that I'm in, because I think I picked the Saints, and I'm definitely leaning the Falcons now. Yeah, leaning on the Falcons. That's about it. Next game, my number 19th ranked LA Rams going against the number 23 ranked Bears. Bears -3, total set at 41.5. The Rams had a terrific, great game against the Niners last week, coming back to win. And the Bears, for another week, continue to look dysfunctional on offense. The defense continues to play well. But at least the passing game got going last week with Caleb Williams. He did attempt 52 passes, but he had over 350 yards. So that is a win. And finally, Roschon Johnson is supposed to be getting a lot of work this week. DeAndre Swift averaging 1.8 yards a carry. That can happen. Roschon Johnson hopefully will be better, and they're going against a very young but talented Rams defensive line, so hopefully they'll be able to get a little bit of a push, play some grown man football against these young guys. But yeah, I don't really like the Rams in this one. I think that they kind of used their magic last week. I don't expect back-to-back weeks like that. But Sean McVay is Sean McVay, and I don't think Matt Eberflus is a very good coach, and Sean McVay can just cook him. But I don't think he has the matchups to be able to do it. I mean, he didn't have the matchups last week. I don't know. If Sean McVay is in his bag and Matt Stafford is Matt Stafford, like, they always have a chance, essentially. But I think the Bears, this is kind of where we see their first cohesive game on offense. The run game gets going a little bit. The passing attack continues to be good. Keenan Allen, I believe, will be back this week, so that gives them their trio of wide receivers. They remembered they have Cole Kmet last Sunday, so maybe. I do like the Bears in this one, but you can't count out Sean McVay, Matt Stafford. I think it's as simple as that. My number 7th ranked Eagles versus the number 15th ranked Buccaneers. Birds -2.5, total set at 43.5. Both teams are both teams are banked. Actually, no, they're not. The Bucs are okay now. The Bucs now get Vita Vea back. Antoine Winfield Jr. is back. And also Luke Goedeke, who's their starting right tackle, who they missed a lot last week. He is also back. The Bucs are healthy. I'm expecting a better Bucs team. Rashad White is apparently losing his job to Bucky Irving, as he should, and that is huge. And yeah, the Eagles on the other side. A.J. Brown is... I will look that up as I'm talking, but Devonta Smith out with a concussion in this one. Britton Covey, who I mentioned earlier, out with a collarbone, who for some reason was their wide receiver 3. And, that's 9 hours ago. He was a non-participant on Wednesday. Doesn't look like he's trending towards playing. So if that's the case, no A.J. Brown, no Devonta Smith, no Britton Covey, who shouldn't really be mentioned. That makes Dallas Goedert their number 1 receiving option, and then Johnny Wilson, the rookie, who's 6'7". Saquon Barkley is actually probably their number 1 receiving option now. Doesn't instill a lot of confidence for the Eagles this week. I think the Bucks will also have a bounce back game after not looking too great. No real picks in this one. I do think the Bucks have a good chance at winning this one. I don't know, like the Eagles' entire game plan will be run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And if Vita Vea is playing, it is very hard to run the ball on that man, despite how good your offensive line is. Yeah, I don't expect Jalen Hurts to be able to throw the ball that well. I don't think he's that good of a passer to begin with, and now all of his weapons are out. That's tough for any quarterback, let alone just Jalen Hurts. That's not really a shot at Jalen Hurts. It kind of is, I guess. But I guess I'm on the Bucks in this one. Not fully on the Bucks, but like I like the Bucks. I think that that's probably going to be. I'll think of my underdog parlay at the end of this one. Keep going here. My number 18th ranked Bengals going against the number 24 ranked Panthers. The orange big cat is -4.5. Total set at 46.5. Andy Dalton revenge game. That is the storyline going into this one. Obviously, I don't think there's any ill will towards Andy Dalton and the Bengals, but it's funny to say that anyways. Panthers offense looked very good last week. Did they play the Raiders? They did, but their offensive line was good, and they're going against a very, very bad Bengals defensive line, a very hurt Bengals defensive line. They have Trey Hendrickson, and that's about it. And I think the Panthers are about to dominate the Bengals defensive line. I think this is going to be a big running game for Chuba Hubbard. And I do think that Deontay Johnson, Xavier Leggett, they will continue to get open and get yards. But I think this is going to be led by a Panthers running attack. It's just all of the matter is of if this still very good Bengals offense can continue to score points through the air. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they got the running backs going last week. Their offensive line is banged up, but luckily for them, they're going against the Panthers' defensive line and defense that isn't very scary in general. So it really comes down to if the Panthers can control the clock, run the ball efficiently and very well. I think this is going to be a closer game than people expect in this one. That line's gone down. I think it opened at 5.5 for the Bengals and has shifted since. But I don't know. I wouldn't count out the Panthers in this one. I think it'll be close. But yeah, I'm expecting a big Chuba Hubbard game in this one, which is just a little weird to say, but it is what it is. The number 30 ranked Broncos going against the number 12 ranked Jets. Jets -7.5. Total set at 39.5. This feels like a trap game. I don't think that the Jets have looked all too great through the first couple weeks. Like, yeah, they've looked good. And I don't know, I'm not high on the Broncos, but at least the Broncos defense has been playing very well. And the offense is no, I can't talk myself into. They have no running back. Their wide receivers aren't good. And this Jets defense still is good. I think it will continue. I think it'll be more of what I predicted last week with the Jets-Patriots, but I think that Bo Nix and the Broncos will be able to move the ball slightly more than the Patriots were able to, just because at least the Broncos have pieces on that offensive line. Yeah, what did I predict for that game? I think I said 17-10 or 13, either way. I think that the Broncos can keep this within the 7.5 points. One of the things I did say on Wednesday's show where I am taking Garrett Wilson to have his first 100-yard game. I think the Jets are playing against a bad team, and I was right that the Jets are playing against a bad team, but that bad team still has Pat Surtain, one of the top corners in the NFL, who will be matching against Garrett Wilson again in this one. Garrett Wilson's been thrown a gauntlet so far to start this year. He got Charvarius Ward in that Niners defense in week 1. The Titans defense in L'Jarius Sneed week 2. Gonzo in the Pats week 3. And now he gets Pat Surtain in the Broncos. Yeah. Maybe not this week, but I want to bet a Garrett Wilson 100-plus yard game soon because the odds are there for it. But getting 100 yards against Pat Surtain, that is a tough ask for any wide receiver in the league. Keep going here. The number 20th ranked Commanders go against the number 13th ranked Cardinals. Cardinals minus 3.5. Total set at 50.5. I think this has been one of the highest totals of the year so far, and for good reason. The Cardinals defense has not played very well, quite honestly, whatsoever. They had that good game against the Rams, but that was the game for the Rams where everyone fell apart and it was new pieces without a week of preparation, yada, yada, yada. And the Commanders have shown they don't have the ability to stop basically anyone on offense yet, and they go against a Cardinals team that has been buzzing through the air, on the ground. Got a little slowed down by the Lions last week. They really stopped their run game, but this is, I think, a big bounce-back opportunity for James Conner. And yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to win this one. I think that Jaden Daniels has been on an incredible run so far to start this year, but I think, yeah, the Cardinals are just simply the better team, the better offense, the better coach team. Cliff Kingsbury revenge game against, I guess. Kyler Murray revenge game against Cliff Kingsbury. Whoa. Yeah, I like the Cardinals. I like James Conner to get a lot of yards in this one too. Yeah, we'll keep going. My number 27th ranked Patriots versus the number 6th ranked Niners. Niners minus 10, total set of 40.5. I think that's the biggest spread we have seen so far this year, and for good reason. The Patriots suck. Their defense is now very hurt. The Niners, while being hurt, are still a good team despite being 1-2. Despite having the same record as the Patriots, I guess. But at the end of the day, the Niners are just simply a better team despite what the record says. And this is a massive get-right game for the Niners. This is going to be okay, we've lost 2 games in a row. We've kind of blown 2 games in a row. And let's just put a whooping on the Patriots. Like, just demolish them across the board. Kittle should be back in this one, which is big. Still no Debo, so it'll be Ayuk and Jennings again. Ayuk will have the pleasure of playing against Christian Gonzalez for most of this matchup, but again, the Niners just outclassed them simply everywhere across the field. I don't see a world where the Patriots win this one. And yeah, I think the Niners get back on track. They show why they are one of the better teams in this league. But if they don't, I'm coming after you, Cam. Get ready for that. Next game here, the number 31 ranked Browns against the number 29 ranked Raiders. Raiders minus 2, total set at 36.5. The worst matchup of the week for very good reasons. I don't know. I like a lot of people on both of these rosters across the board here. I guess the Raiders have a little bit better QB play. Gardner Minshew will continue to be the starter. I don't know. I like the Browns' defense is so much better than the Raiders' defense, but I have to pick the Browns in this one. I don't really like it, but the Raiders' defense, the only players on the Raiders defense who play consistently hard, Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins. I don't like their secondary. I don't know. But then again, Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins going against this very bad and beat up Browns offensive line. Again, it's a smelly matchup. I don't have any real strong leans. I think that I will lean on the Browns just because I do think that their defense will be able to feast on them. The Raiders have no running game whatsoever. It's between them and the Cowboys right now for who is the worst, right, in my opinion. I don't know. It's bad. This is bad football between 2 bad teams that I will probably not see on my TV, despite maybe the 2 total touchdowns that'll be scored in this game on Red Zone. Like, avoid this matchup. Like, I don't know why you would watch this unless you're a Raiders and Browns fan, but bad football will be played between these 2 teams on Sunday.
The number 1 ranked Chiefs versus the number 25 ranked Chargers. Kansas City -7, total set of 39.5. What is going on outside? That's like back-to-back episodes where I don't know who's smashing the garbage cans back there. Hopefully you can't really hear it. I'm sure you can a little bit. Maybe I should just keep going though. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win this one. The Chiefs are the better football team, and it doesn't even matter that they're losing their 2 tackles. No Joey Bosa, no Derwin James in this one. If all of those guys were healthy, I'd still pick the Chiefs. I think that's pretty simple, but that offensive line for the Chargers is going to be bad. They're going to try to run the football. They will not be able to run the football. Justin Herbert will get sacked. Apparently, he's progressing from his high ankle sprain, but who's to say he won't re-aggravate that again when Chris Jones is barreling down on top of him? Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win this one. It's probably going to be another boring game. The Chiefs have not played, especially on offense anyways, have played exciting football whatsoever to start this year. The offenses looked very bland. I think the only lean that I do have in this one is there's been a lot of talk about Travis Kelce is washed. He doesn't have it anymore, blah, blah, blah. I think what's happening is Rashee Rice is just getting all of the Travis Kelce routes right now, and that's fine. It's a long season. Travis Kelce doesn't need to be doing anything in the first couple months, if we're being honest, and he hasn't been, and the team's still 3-0. However, I do like Travis Kelce to score a touchdown in this one, because realistically, it'll be pretty easy to score on this Chargers defense. So, Travis Kelce, I think it's plus 170 for Travis Kelce to score a touchdown. They get into the red zone. Wouldn't shock me if Travis Kelce gets a TD in that one, but Chiefs win this one easy. The Sunday night game, the number 2 ranked Bills versus the number 9 ranked Ravens. Ravens -2.5, total set of 46.5. This feels like a trap game. The Bills have been playing such great football, been dominating, especially on offense, every single team that they've played. With that being said, they've played the Cardinals, who did score 28 on them, I think that number was. They played the Dolphins. Tua threw 3 interceptions. 2 of them were not his fault, but turnovers are turnovers. And then they played Skylar Thompson, who also just sucks. And then last week they played the Jags, who are my worst team in football currently. So they get a very good Ravens team. However, this Ravens offensive line is not very good. They're going against a very good Bills defense and defensive line. The Ravens have looked shaky. They looked good last week, but they still almost blew the lead in the fourth quarter, like they've been doing a bunch of other times. I don't know. The Bills just, I feel like they're going to overmatch them. I don't know why the Bills are. I mean, this is Vegas. They're baiting everybody. They're baiting everyone to take the Bills, and this is where the Ravens kind of come away. But I don't want to be baited. I don't want to be baited into taking the Bills. I think the Bills will be part of that money line dog parlay. Yeah, I'm going to get baited this week, definitely. But is what it is. Nothing you can do. I think the Bills are the better football team. I think that they match up very well against the Ravens. It's as simple as that. Josh Allen is playing the best football of any QB right now in the league, the MVP runner, and I think that they will just continue to do what they've been doing through the first month of the season. Simple as that. The Monday night games now, my number 27th ranked Titans go against the number 21 ranked Dolphins. Dolphins -1, total set at 36.5. So, as of 2:50 on Thursday afternoon, it has not been announced who is starting at quarterback for the Dolphins, whether it be Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley. Let me make it goddamn clear, if we are not starting Tyler Huntley on Monday night, I am going to lose my goddamn mind. Mike McDaniel might be out on you if Tyler Huntley is not given the start. Now, I know I joke about Tyler Huntley and being a Pro Bowl quarterback. It is a joke that he was a Pro Bowl quarterback, but Tyler Huntley has at least shown that he can win football games and be a pretty good QB across this league. Tim Boyle has been a third-string quarterback basically his entire career in the league, and I don't even know how he got to the league. I think I talked about him a bit last year when he got the starter job from the Jets away from Zach Wilson, and he had more interceptions, more turnovers in college than touchdowns. How does that happen, and then how do you make the NFL? I guess he's a really good person, but Tyler Huntley gives this team so much more to work with in terms of just his mobility. And Mike McDaniel needs to get out of his own way sometimes. Put the better player in, dumb down your scheme a little bit. Let's run the ball against the Titans, which is very, very hard to do, but I expect better. I expect Tyler Huntley in this one. Simple as that. In terms of actual gameplay stuff, the Titans, again, their defense has been very good. Our defense has been pretty good so far. So it'll be tough. It's a low scoring total for a reason at 36.5, and I think it will be. Will Levis, will we see a bunch of dumb Will Levis turnovers as we have through the first couple weeks? Probably. Yeah. Oh, also the funny stat that I should mention is Zach Taylor's coaching tree right now. It's Zach Taylor 0-3, Press Taylor, who is Zach's brother, who I looked this up and I was like, there's no way Press is his real name. It's not. His name is Sherwood Press Taylor. Awful name. Sorry, Press, but Press Taylor and the Jags 0-3, and then Bill Callahan and the Titans now 0-3. Zach Taylor coaching tree, awesome. But yeah, I don't know. This is a tale of two bad teams, but on one hand, I think that we're better coached. I think that we have the better roster. We have the better talent on offense. We should win this game despite who's at quarterback. We'll see if Mike McDaniel can put together a game plan, because if Tua's not his quarterback, he puts out bottom five offenses in the league. Shouldn't be that bad. Go Dolphins, I guess. Whatever. And last game here, the other Monday night game, the number 10 ranked Seahawks versus the number 5 ranked Lions. Lions minus 3.5, total set of 46.5. Like how I was talking about how Josh Allen and the Bills haven't really faced like tough competition yet. It's the same with the Seahawks. They played a close game against the Broncos. They played a close game against the Patriots. And then last week, they play Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle. So they get their first real matchup of the season. Mike McDonald has, again, he's looked pretty good, but now he faces a real offense and a real defense with the Lions here. And I'll be interested to see how it looks. Again, I think this is one of those matchups where I think the Lions just outclass them, and the Lions have kind of been putting it together week after week. And again, I think this is going to be one of those weeks where the Lions play big man football. They move this Seahawks defensive line. They get the running game going with Monty and Gibbs. And I do expect the Lions to win in this one. I hope that the Seahawks can keep up with them, because this is a big test for the Seahawks and kind of how you feel for the rest of the season, where if the Lions come away and they're up by 10 points at the end of it, you're kind of like, okay, this is like a building year anyways, and it's like, it's fine, room to improve. But if the Seahawks come away with a close loss in this one or win, it's like, okay, we can be one of the contending teams by the end of the year potentially. And there might be a lot of pressure on the Seahawks, but I do think they have the talent across this roster to be one of the better teams in the league. I guess we will see, though. Yeah, that does it for the Week 4 preview. So yeah, just off the top of my head, some bets, some quick things that I like this week. Yeah, the Nico Collins over on yards. Not sure what it's at, but he has a very good matchup against the Jags this coming week. I like Chuba Hubbard over for his rushing yards, maybe 80 plus. That should be in the plus money. The other running back who I liked this week, who was it? I do expect Devin Singletary to have a good game tonight, but by the time you listen to this, it'll be too late, so never mind. What running back do I expect? James Conner. I expect James Conner to have a big day running the football. Other than that, so those are the three guys I like, and this money dog parlay that I like, it'll be the Colts, the Vikings, and the Bills all to win. Yeah, simple as that. I guess that'll do it. No Lucy again this episode. She is sleeping calmly on the bed while Tasham does her work. Maybe next week, but if you've liked this, as always, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, tell all your friends, and until next time, peace.